guys, what's up? What's good? What is going on? It is me, Kitty Annalise, and I'm back with another episode of the 12 Days of Manga. And today's episode, we will be looking at Forget Me Not. The story of Forget Me Not tells the story of a young man named Yusuke who was in a pretty bad mortar accident after he was distracted by a familiar face. Now, this familiar face that he sees is somebody from his past, actually a woman that he may have dated, and he just can't figure out who it was. Anyway, he wakes up in the hospital very confused about what happens, and he's talking with the nurse, and the nurse explains that a woman actually called the ambulance on him to have him brought to the hospital. Right then, in that moment, he gets a phone call from the girl who saved him, and she's just kind of like, are you okay? Obviously, you know who I am, and it's just been so long. In this phone call, he's trying to figure out who this girl is. He has no idea. He can't recognize her voice. He doesn't remember who she was at all. And on the other line, she's like, you do remember who I am, right? Gosh, you're such a jerk. I know things ended terribly, and I'm just still so rattled by everything, and I'm still frustrated on how horribly you treated me, and I really would like to get past that and get some answers. And all the while, Yusuke just has no idea who this woman is. He's trying to figure out, he's like racking his brain while he's on the phone. And then she asks him if he wants to meet up the next day. Yusuke agrees to this, and they hang up. Now, this is where the story really kicks off. Yusuke then is in this position where he has to try to search through his memories to see if he can piece together who this person is. Now, this is all about his dating history, all of his past failed relationships, all of the women he has encountered and had any type of emotional flings with. And this kind of dates back from like middle school, high school, him as a college student now, and a lot of these relationships were bad. Now, Yusuke is a decently average guy. Most of his friends and people that know him would consider him to be the nice guy. But that was kind of while he was younger. Now, in the present day, a lot of things have changed. He isn't really close to anybody from his past. You know, that's kind of just how life kind of happens after college. You're just kind of a different person than you were in your youth. And Yusuke describes himself as a pretty horrible person back then. And it's crazy because looking at him as a character, you think he's a nice, decent guy, but everybody who appears like that typically has some things they're not proud of in their past. And with him, apparently he was quite the jerk in his dating history. Now, the story then goes through him trying to remember his old failed relationships. Some of the relationships were loving and caring, and they just ended. And then there's some others that were quick and lustful and meaningless. He even had a relationship in his past that was like quite inappropriate. This man has been around. He's dated so many different types of girls. It's really fun following the journey of him really trying to recall who these girls were, what they did to him, what he did to them, how things ended. He's just kind of reminiscing on a lot of could have beens, would have beens, and should have beens. In the relationships, you know, sometimes he's been the bad guy. Typically, he has been the bad guy. A lot of them ended on very sour notes. Some of them were miscommunications, or some of them were highly intended to just go wrong and go south. So it's interesting, you know, as a woman, seeing a guy's perspective on how these relationships failed, what went right, what didn't work, and just seeing so many different instances completely just different from each other. It just keeps you like wanting to read to find out why, like what has he done in his past that is so bad that makes him just such a terrible, terrible person. And who is this woman who saved him and is just so angry at him for what he did, and what did he really do? This story is extremely relatable. We all have done things in our past and with our relationships that weren't great, and you'd like to try to forget them, but I feel like a lot of the times, no matter how hard you run or how far you go or how much you change, those memories are still going to be with you. Sometimes they haunt you and you try to escape them, but you just can't. So it's interesting seeing another person dive into their past in terms of what went wrong and what he can do to become a better person. And I really like how it dives into how he was when he was younger and what he went through when he was younger. And you can kind of see some of the relationships, how his life, his personal life, really interrupted a lot of those relationships and they just didn't fit properly. And they ultimately ended up in failure. All in all, this manga has really been a very relatable experience. It's just like no matter what has happened in your past, the things that did happen have really shaped you to become the person that you are today. All in all, I really enjoyed this story. It was very new, very fresh, and not often in anime and manga are we looking into someone's past to see how their relationships turned out. I honestly really enjoyed the series so far, and I really do hope to continue to collect the volumes and get down to the mystery, because right now, even where I'm at in volume 6, it's not done. I still don't know who this woman is, and he's still got a lot of other girls to go through. All in all, great series. It's really good if you're looking for that like slice of life story. There's a little bit of comedy, but it's not really funny. It's definitely a really serious story. It sucks, but you're gonna really like a lot of the girls and you're gonna be rooting for them a lot of the time. This guy, Yusuke, he really is in the wrong for a lot of these relationships. But there are some girls who you're gonna like get so annoyed with, and I'm kind of glad that he did whatever he did and it just didn't work out. So let me know what you think about this series. Go ahead and leave a comment and a like if you like this video, and please do subscribe and check out some more content as soon as it comes up. All right, this is me signing off. Bye.